in my 15 years selling apartments predominantly in Stonington, I've been selling apartments for pretty much the same price my entire career. Yeah.
For 15 years, the unit market has done sweet FA in Melbourne.
In Melbourne, nothing. But in other states, it's gone bananas. Up until probably 12 months ago, we wouldn't meet any investors at all. None. Zero. Around 40% of deals, of sales this year have been to investors.
Affordable housing to produce right now is costing you 900 to $1 million.
Yes.
Whoa. Man, we're buying this stuff like half that.
James Burne, welcome to the Moves to Momentum podcast. We are very excited to have you here.
Thank
all
you.
The way
Thanks
from
for having
Melbourne.
me. Yeah, good flight this morning. Sunny weather.
I know, a bit better than Melbourne.
Yeah, a little bit more,
Surely.
especially today. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have been a real estate agent for 15 years, you were just telling us.
Yeah,
And you're
little
currently
while.
at Big and Scott, Stonington.
Yes, been there for about 7 years now and loving it. Loving it.
That's awesome. Look, we're so stoked to have you on today. We're going to run through a bit of your personal story, get a bit of your expertise on the South Yarra and Melbourne unit market at the moment, and just kind of pick your brain apart.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Apart.
Absolutely.
Pick it apart.
left.
Yeah.
Let's jump straight into it. So tell us a bit about your personal story. How did you get into the real estate world and when?
So yeah, 15 years, I think 15 or 16, around that kind of mark. No, all good. I finished school and didn't know entirely what I wanted to do. I was a bit more creative back then, if I'm being honest. So I actually went into fashion design, which is going to be, I thought
it was more like a musician. I saw him like slapping the bass or something like that.
slapping the bass. No, fashion design. And then it didn't quite grab me. So I did that for a couple of semesters or whatever it is. And then got out of that. And my dad is an accountant, but all of his siblings have all been real estate agents, still are, and have dabbled in that. So I thought, I'll get into that. Exactly. It's in the blood. How hard could it be? So I got into it, worked at a few places, spent about 3.5 or almost 4 years at one particular agency in South Yarra.
Do we name them? Or they should be unnamed?
Unnamed.
Irrelevant, yes.
Irrelevant, but irrelevant to me now.
Agency X.
Dead to me. But look, it was selling a particular type of product, and that alone. And I got a bit sick of that type of job. And you know what it's like. And it got a bit toxic. They started off quite little. They grew very, very quickly, and then I just found myself, a bit unhappy in that space. So
Instantly know the agency he's talking about.
We know.
Yes.
went into Off the Plan actually and spent about 3 to 4 years doing that and having a crack at that. I had kind of aspirations of trying to get into the development world myself at that point in time. So I thought that might be a good way to do that. And then decided to go back to kind of what we would call mum and dad real estate, normal residential real estate, out of the Off the Plan world, and haven't looked back. I've been at Big and Scott for, about 7 years now.
How did you, what was the catalyst for you to get out of the developing ways and get into the mum and dad stuff? Like, did something happen?
No, nothing really happened. I did have a baby on the way, and it was hard in that space at that time. And look, it probably is still, particularly down in Melbourne with Off the Plan and, building costs going up and all that kind of stuff, and trying to sell property without being able to walk through it. It's pretty challenging. So, I decided to get out of it.
First baby?
He was, yes. I've now got two.
Yeah, you got two kids?
Two kids.
Happily married to your beloved
Brody.
Brody.
Yes, and I got Teddy and Coco.
Man, how good.
Yeah, it's good.
Full
It's
family,
good.
man.
Yeah. And the dog. And the cavoodle.
And the dog. Cavoodle.
Yeah, exactly. So,
He's got like the white picket fence,
dog.
everything.
Yeah.
He's got it.
It's good. It's good.
Unreal, man.
Yeah. So
Lifetime, it's in the family lineage to be a real estate agent.
Yep.
And so you jump in, you've been doing it 15 years, you're doing a bit of development, softer plans, this, that.
Yeah.
And you have a baby along the way.
Yeah.
What else is going on there? Like, when did you get married in all this?
pre-COVID, got married in 2018. So yeah. And then once I was starting to have a family, there was a lot of pressure to, I felt a lot of pressure anyway to be trying to make as much money as you can. Sales were slowing and that kind of thing. And I felt like we were very, very reliant on government initiatives and all that kind of stuff in that space. Whereas I do find in the normal real estate world, it's much more of a necessity. It's an immediate roof over people's heads where you're providing that shelter, or you're providing that investment property, or you're providing a source of income, or whatever it is. But it's immediate rather than maybe aspirational down the track. And the government would shift their mind on and their views on what incentives they would bring out. Couple that with escalating building costs and all that kind of stuff that made it hard for developers to keep up. And it was time to move on.
Can I ask a personal question?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about packing it in? Because, man, Melbourne has been through the absolute ringer real estate-wise in the last 7 years. That's the whole time you've been at Big and Scott. Never thought about it.
No, not really. COVID, not a critter. COVID was tough.
Yeah.
COVID was tough at the start of COVID, when we couldn't do any work, really. You couldn't do any appointments. You couldn't do anything like that. But obviously, once we kind of came back out into the sunlight, into the world, the market did go pretty well for a time. Now it's definitely come away. And it's, I think we're at the right point now where I think things are going to start moving in the right direction. Yes.
Let's go.
It's been moving in the right direction for one particular type of asset, I think, for a little while now. The Melbourne market is definitely a couple of months, I would say. Yeah. Look, and it won't be a surprise to you, but yeah, look, the Melbourne market we're finding at the moment is definitely split into two categories. And I'd be simplifying it a lot by going $1 million plus and $1 million and below, which in the metropolitan Melbourne is apartments versus the housing market. The housing market is definitely got its challenges right now, but the apartment market is just kind of chugging away and doing relatively well, and I think has good things coming. So
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Man. How fun.
So obviously, James, we chat basically every day. You're one of my top agents down in Melbourne. But I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on property investing? Do you have any investments yourself?
Yes, I do. Until it settles. I did actually sell my one and only at this point in time investment property, which is in WA. That'll settle in August.
When did you buy that?
Not that long ago, like 20 months ago.
Oh, nice.
20 months ago. So I was probably late to it.
Yeah.
Early to exit, probably. But
we're talking like early 25?
Yeah.
Early 24?
Late 24.
Late 24. I think that's
24.
good. That's a good window.
Yeah, late 24. And look, for our personal circumstances, it's definitely served its purpose. And then we will be buying again.
We love the numbers, bro. Tell us the area. Tell us the numbers.
It was in Mandurah.
Mandurah?
It was in Mandurah.
3 by 1, 4 by 2?
3 by 1.
3 by 1 in Mandurah.
806 square metres land. Good. It was a good spot. Fibro shack. Yep. But everything was fine with building inspection, all that kind of stuff. It came back pretty good. There weren't any problems there. Bought for $465, I think $465, and we've just sold for $650.
Amazing.
You're making, you buy mid fours, you sell for mid sixes, you make 200 grand in 20 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was good. And it's definitely served its purpose. The next one will be in Victoria. We're definitely sure of that. It's just a matter of where and exactly what. But yeah, we'll definitely get into that.
Are you saying apartment versus house?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Or, depending on what it is, multiple apartments versus one house.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely think that there is a lot of room for apartments in the Melbourne market, which probably isn't going to be a surprise to you. But if you want me to elaborate on that, I certainly can.
We can, and we want you to. But first, can we go back?
Yes.
I want to find out the catalyst that got you into property investing, because you've been selling real estate for 15 years now, and you choose to buy back then in Perth.
Yes.
How does that happen? How does that conversation with Brody go?
Yeah, well, so it was easy because Brodie's actually from Perth and WA. She has family in Mandurah too. So that was actually kind of like we had a bit of intel into the market there, which is good. So that made it easy. It's something we'd wanted to do for a little while. We did actually used to own a 1-bedroom apartment in South Yarra, and we did pretty well out of that. We actually bought it to rent out. We lived in it for a time. We renovated it, and we did well out of that. Sold in COVID, and then sat out of the market for a while. Finally got back into WA. Yeah. Probably waited a bit too long out of the market when we should have jumped straight back in. But you live and learn.
Man, so you guys have been dabbling in property investing for a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Raising a family in Melbourne.
Yes. Yeah. All that stuff. But now we definitely do want to kind of ramp it up. And I'll speak to you guys. Asking lots of questions. Exactly. So definitely want to ramp that up. And that's part of our plan for the balance of this year and into next year. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And I'm always interested in the catalyst. Like what changes from getting one, sitting on the sidelines, kind of stepping back to we want to ramp it up. Like that's a big swing.
To be honest, it's actually friends of ours who have done this. And we've got a few friends that are now on board and doing it in varying kind of volumes. But like one of our best friends, young couple, they've got 3 girls and they are, I don't want to say the wrong answer, but it's +8. They're probably sitting on about 9. They've probably bought maybe 12 or 13 over the last 3 to 4 years.
3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
Bro, they've been going hard.
Yeah, they have. They've been going really hard. They're going really hard. And so they've recruited a few mutual friends and we're kind of...
You're one of the mutual friends.
Yes, we're one of the mutual friends who's very interested and they've been able to do pretty well. But I'm intrigued by it.
So it's to unpack it that little bit further.
Yes.
You're interested, and by the sounds of it, every time you've bought and sold, you've done well off it, from what you've said. But you see someone else going about this in a more aggressive approach and seeing it work out, you're like, oh, we could get around that.
Yeah, totally.
That's just seeing the path, the strategy.
Yeah, the strategy is something that as a real estate agent, I can maybe look at certain things and maybe know a good deal when I see one or all that kind of stuff. But the structuring is something that I'm learning about every day and is a bit foreign to me. So I pick up my friend's brain, I'll pick your guys' brain all the time and try to work out, okay, how are we going to do this? How can I get to, 4 properties? How can I get to 3? How can I get to 2? What's the best way to get to that point? Still haven't got there yet, 2, but, getting to the next one will be, I think, the launching pad, hopefully.
I agree, man. You kind of need to test it, feel it, be around it. Then you're like, okay, I feel this, and you get the momentum. I reckon after the second or third equity release, it's just like foot to the floor. You just go for it.
And that's something that I kind of was aware of, but wasn't really, I guess, fully aware on how well you could use equity within properties. I mean, looking back, we sold South Yarra and we did pretty well out of that 1-bedroom apartment. We could have bought another apartment, or we could have bought another property somewhere else. We didn't do it. We sold that. Looking back, that would have been.
Why didn't you do it?
I don't really know. We just
lack of education.
Pretty much, I think lack of education around the whole property investing thing, and trying to accumulate more. I think I was probably more so going, well, we can use this as a jumping pad to maybe sell this one and then buy the next one and then sell that and buy the next one, rather than trying to accumulate and grow as a portfolio.
Yeah. If someone back then, when you and Brody were in the 1x1, if someone gave you the option, hey, how about you just take equity and just go buy your next place and just keep this place? Do you reckon you guys would have done it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, I know. We bought that for $356, renovated it. I did most of it. And we spent, honestly, about, I think total, probably 12 grand. Bought it for $356, sold for $500. So
that's mad.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was great. Good result there.
This guy's like a property savant. Anything he touches just goes up.
Don't know about that. But yeah, as I said, launching pad for the next one, hopefully. I think that'll be good. Yeah.
I have to ask, with the recent, or do you think there has been a recent influx of investors in South Yarra, and has that swayed your mind on investing yourself again in South Yarra?
Yes, it has. It's obviously, look, for price point wise, it's a great market because it's an entry level market. The thing that I've always kind of looked at, especially as a real estate agent, I can tell you that for the most part, obviously there's here and there's properties like the one I sold. Obviously we improved that property and made money on it. But for the most part, in my 15 years selling apartments predominantly in Stonington, I've been selling apartments for pretty much the same price my entire career.
Shit.
Yeah.
For 15 years, the unit market has done sweet FA in Melbourne.
In Melbourne, nothing. But in other states, it's gone bananas. It's gone bananas. And it's gone up in equal terms with the housing market. But we have not seen that in Victoria or in Melbourne. So that's where I see an opportunity. Will it catch up? Look, it'll definitely grow. It's a matter of when. And I do think that we are heading to, with this influx of investors coming into the market, it hopefully, touch wood, and I think it will do well.
Could you give us like a 5, 3, 1? Like what was it like 5 years ago? What was it like 3 years ago? And what was it like last year?
Yeah. Well, to give you an example, since about 2020 up until probably 12 months ago, we wouldn't meet any investors at all. None. Zero. Zero.
He wouldn't even know what he could walk past one in the street. Wouldn't even know him.
No clue.
Pre that, yeah, we would see investors, not in huge numbers, but we would. But for 5 years or so, there was zero. And I mean zero. Just nothing happening. You maybe the odd SMSF. But that is it. That is it. And I'm talking one deal a year maybe to an investor.
That's
so
crazy.
So you're lumping the last 3 or 5 years in one category, and then now the last 12 months?
Yeah.
How many are you seeing?
Right now, to date so far this year, I can tell you that me personally, I've sold about 40%, but somewhere between 38 or 30. I did it the other day. I should probably remember. I think it was 43, but I don't want to go too high because I have made a couple of sales in the last 7 days. So let's say around 40% of sales this year have been to investors. Now that's me personally. Obviously, it depends what you're selling.
What do you have at the office? You got the office stats?
Well, this is the thing. We sell a pretty broad range of properties. So we sell some houses and we sell some apartments. Now the apartments are moving pretty well at the moment. And that's because investors are coming back. You've got owner occupiers who still need a roof over their head. The other market, the kind of, your second home, your third home, your downsizer, your upsizer, they're being very cautious. The market isn't really moving. Not much is being listed and not much is being sold. It's just it's a much slower market. So it's really split up into those two categories. So for me, who I probably sell somewhere between 80 and 90% of apartments per year. My numbers are obviously going relatively well, but for someone selling houses, it is a tougher market in Melbourne at the moment. It's good opportunity and there's good buying, very good buying to be honest. But for the apartment market, we're still seeing relatively good numbers for that reason.
When you say pretty good, can you define it a bit more for us? Like how many days on market, what's the level of inquiry? When you list something online, are you just like your phone's bing, 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 bing?
Yeah. Look, obviously I'm dealing with investors, advocacy groups. I'm dealing with owner occupiers as well. I think my average days on market at the moment is about 21 days, 22 days, which is pretty good. Yeah. I have seen a lot of people who only sell houses and they are starting to push out a little bit more. Obviously, the good operator is obviously going to be able to keep that down, but that's putting a lot of pressure on your vendors and that kind of thing. Whereas we're not really seeing that too much with the apartment market. We are still, managed to get pretty good results.
2 to 3 weeks gone.
Yeah. Unreal. They're moving well.
And what about off markets?
Yeah.
Like how quickly do you have the same kind of turnaround time for that? Does that seem to move a bit quicker?
Well, we're going to wait for contracts first of all. No, but look, they are, I think you're able to get offers. There are still some owners who, you've got to understand with the Melbourne market, I've spoken about the fact that we haven't had price variations for quite a long time. I mean, they've kind of gone up here and there, but we're talking a couple percent. We're not talking huge growth. So the complex thing in a lot of cases has actually been that you've got owners who have bought 20 years ago and it hasn't done what they thought it would do. Yeah. And so they're not making any money. They might be in some cases people sell at a loss. That's never good. or they're not making as much money as they thought they were going to. You know, they could have bought the house in another state. They could have bought a house in the outer western suburbs for the same price that would have tripled by now or doubled by now, but they didn't do that. They bought an apartment and it just hasn't done what it should have done or what they expected it to do.
You say this, I hear this in every single market that we get into, right? At the start of Perth, I hear the same thing. You know, then you talk about regional WA in Jolton. Then you talk about Queensland. Then you talk about regional Queensland. Then you talk about it was like nothing for so long. Then these people that are like the early movers that are selling, it's like, well, we're buying this thing for the same thing that this guy bought back in 2011. Yeah. And it's like, wow. And it's like, it's crazy.
And look, one of my directors, he's always said, and he's been in the industry for a little while, but he says that all these markets, they always repair themselves from the ground up. So from the lower price stock upwards. And that's exactly what we are starting to see, which is why I think it's an exciting time, is that apartments are all of a sudden, having not really done anything for a while, they're starting to move a bit, and they're moving better than the higher priced market, which is a really good sign that we're on the right trajectory. I mean, I think I've told you this before, Rhea. I sell apartments in Toorak, South Yarra, Paran. I mean, in Toorak, you can be standing on the balcony of your $400,000 one-bedroom apartment, and you can look across the road at a $10, $20, $30 million house. That doesn't happen in any other state. I mean, you guys will know better than me, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen. You don't have that in any other state other than Victoria at the moment. At the moment. So, yeah.
Won't be for much longer.
I don't think so, but time will tell.
One of the main reasons we love working with you, James, is the fact that you have got such deep experience in the unit market, especially that area that Rhea kind of mops up, South Yarra, Paran, all that type of stuff. But what do you think is going to change for it to really go, right? The fire underneath it.
Yeah. To be honest, at this point, I think it is happening. It's happening perhaps slower than people maybe want or expect. I think I certainly thought that the Melbourne market might have bounced off the bottom. I'm talking about the whole housing market, because houses, I speak to a lot of my neighbours, and a lot of them are kind of freaking out. Yeah. You know, we're dealing with people who have bought for over $2 million. They're now going to be selling, if they do sell, under $2 million. And that's not a good feeling. Good opportunity to upsize if they're looking for a PPR. But as an investment at the lower end, I think, you know, the more investors that do come in, as well as raising rents, which is, I mean, the rent is crazy at the moment in Melbourne. So, and it's looking like with all of these government changes, it's just going to keep going up. Yeah. I mean, even if you look at what happened yesterday with the SMSF. I mean, and my point is, I think a lot of it is to do with government. I don't want to get too political, but that I think if Melbourne are to or Victoria are to get a new government, that will certainly have an impact, even if it's just confidence.
Yeah.
Even if it's just confidence, that will turn things around, I think, quite quickly.
Before we move on this point, can I take you back to your developing days? Yeah. Right. We talk to a lot of clients about replacement costs. Yeah. These units that we're buying. Yeah. What would let's say like a 2x1 in Paran, we're buying them for let's say 550, 600-ish. Mm-hmm. What would it cost for one of your developer mates to build that thing today?
Really good question. Because I mean, effectively in our area in particular, developers cannot make a project work unless they are selling for around about 16 to 17,000 per square metre. Yeah.
Whoa. Can we do the maths on that? Yeah. Because the most common thing that we are buying is around 60 squares. Yeah. 60 times, what did you say, 15,000?
No, more than that. Probably 16 to 17. Go 16.
16,000.
Play safe.
Yeah.
960, bro.
Yeah. So that's what you can expect to pay for an off the plan or a new property in Melbourne. And this is the whole thing, is you can go around the corner and you can buy a 60 square metre 2-bedroom apartment in a great little pocket in Paran, in South Yarra, in Toorak. And you're buying it for 10, 11,000 square metre.
Bro. That's mental. We talk to clients about this all the time.
All the time.
You're giving me numbers that are way more aggressive. I've been
Yeah.
super conservative. I'm saying like 850. And
Yeah.
you're telling us 950.
In
bro.
outer areas, you might be able to build for less, but in our area, that's what you got to do. Yeah. I mean, in premium, if you're buying a really premium building, it's 20 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 20 plus.
Are you noticing that all the investors that you do work with, that older established, low set stock is exactly what everyone's after?
Yes, mostly. I think there's more people buying older stuff. And that's actually been across the board, especially since COVID hit. I think a lot more people wanted, you tried, you tested your 70s blocks that are brick. They were often a little bit larger and they're a safer bet because there was combustible cladding problems with a lot of buildings in Victoria as well, which were expensive and caused some problems. So everyone looked at the older style buildings as a bit of a safer bet. Yeah. But the newer buildings do offer pretty high yield. So I guess for investors, it depends what the strategy is. If they want something that's really high yielding, a modern apartment, you can get extraordinary yields, but you might not have as much growth as a really boutique, 1 of 10 or 1 of 8, whatever it is, older style block. Yeah.
Yeah, the older stuff is definitely the stuff we like a bit more.
I think it's basically the best of both.
Yeah. But I'm still blown away by those numbers, you know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like, why would they even add more supply, which is going to help with the housing crisis? Like,
that's why I talk about government. I mean,
affordable housing just doesn't even become a thing anymore. Because if that's what it's costing them to build on the low end, you're saying it's 20 grand a square foot on something nice. A square meter.
If you're buying something really premium, that might have the gyms and the pools, even if it's a boutique block, that's what you're going to be. That's what you're going to be paying.
Affordable housing to produce right now is costing you 900 to $1 million. Yes. Whoa.
For 60 square meters, that's crazy.
Man, we're buying this stuff like half that. Not quite half that, but like
nearly.
Goodness, nearly. Yeah, 2/3, comfortably 2/3. And in my opportunistic property investor mind, it's like we're buying this thing for 550. It's got headroom to get up to 900.
Yeah.
That's freaking, let's go. Yeah.
You put the nice reno in if you want to do that. You don't even have to do that. I think you'll probably catch up by itself. But if you did renovate and all of a sudden you've got internally an apartment that's just as nice, possibly better built than a lot of these brand new apartments. And there's heaps.
I've been frothing Melbourne units this whole year, and this guy's just Gene even more. Like,
get on board.
I remember when we first started working together, and we've had a few conversations, and you were like, "I've been saying this for years. Like, you could predict that this was happening and this was coming." It was so good to be able to, for us to chat amongst each other because it's exciting. It's an exciting time for both ends of this.
Yes, definitely agree. There's so much opportunity, I think, in the Melbourne market, and probably more. I mean, as I said, you guys, the professionals, you're looking at, I'm in my own little bubble.
Yeah.
But I do get glimpses of other states and think, Melbourne has so much catching up to do for the rest of the country. So, yeah.
Can I ask you a few questions about the industry? I do want to ask you about, I do want to talk about like the challenges that your clients are facing. You're talking everyday mums and dads in and around the suburbs, but you're also dealing with, I assume, and from what you've told us, a lot of buyers agents. Yeah. Maybe a few buyers agents.
A few. You pick the ones that you want to deal with.
Yeah. Or maybe you're hearing from a lot.
Yeah, I do.
Dealing with a few.
Yeah, I get calls from plenty, but I would say there's a handful, if not less, that I actively go to at least first. And then if it's not quite happening or there's not as much traction as I would like, yes, I'll maybe speak to a few more. But yeah.
Bit of a shameless plug. Yeah. What puts RIA in and amongst that top 3? Like what's different between the let's say the 20, 30, 40 that are reaching out to you every week to put her in the ones that like, oh, yeah, I want to, well, I'll go to her first.
I think probably the number one thing is actually responsiveness.
Responsiveness.
Yeah, just responsiveness. I can call RIA. You pretty much, I don't think it's really weird if you don't answer the call. And if you don't, you will actually text me saying, I'm just getting lunch. I think you did that yesterday or the day
I
before.
actually
You said, I'm
answered,
just
I said,
getting
I'm getting lunch.
chicken Caesar salad.
Yeah.
And I'll call you back.
Yeah.
And so that's the best thing. And being able to get feedback as well, because sometimes, you know, it's even for me, it can be hard to appraise properties. Owners have a particular idea of value in their own mind. That could be right. It could be incorrect. And I will do my best to try to work that out, but it's just someone to kind of bounce that off as well and say, what do you think? Where do you see value? And then I can take that back to the owner. We might be having really early chats with them, but I can chat to you and say, look, this might be coming up. I haven't actually got control of it yet, or, you know, I don't know. They don't know what they want to do just yet, but I can speak to you about it first and say, look, this is where they're thinking, you know, what do you think about that? And have a good conversation about it.
Yeah, that's definitely something I value a lot in a working relationship. It's the transparency and just the open and honest communication. Like, I think it's so important, and it also just gets rid of all the fluff and just saves time. Like, you know, we're both trying to do the best for our clients, but we're also going to work together to reach an outcome that everyone's happy with.
Yes, we've had a couple of doozies.
Yes, we've been through the trenches together through some, but
we have.
I mean, Jason and I talk about this all the time, like going through the trenches and going through all that bullshit with people. You come out so much stronger in the end, and it's like, mate, if we can get through that, we can get through 100 more of these. So yeah, I think it's important. I think that you go through that together. I think Jace did ask you before, but I don't know, it might have just got mixed up. But yeah, what are some of the most common challenges that you're seeing your clients are facing, like more so recently in the past, like 6 to 12 months?
Compliance is a big one. It's just a fact of, so there's a lot of compliance in Victoria now. And they're adding to the list every year, you know, air conditioning, double or blockout blinds, you know, all sorts of things that, you know, are all small, but they add up. And, you know, I mean, to give you an idea, I had a conversation with an elderly landlord of ours who actually would end up in tears because she's been told, you know, she put air conditioning in last year. She's now got to put this other thing in, and she's got to do all these things to meet compliance, to meet the code. And she can't afford it. It's not that she just can't afford it, you know. And so, you know, this is the problem in trying to, you know, so that's one of the challenges, is that all of the time there's all of these compliance checks. Well, they're squeezing everyone. Now, ultimately, it just pushes rents up. I mean, the minimum standards that we get told, that's what they are. It's just pushing up minimum rent. That's really what it's doing.
100%, because then the landlord just passes it on to the tenant.
Yeah. Well, it also, I mean, if you're a really tight budget and you want, you think, you know what, I really want to save as much as I can. I'm just renting. I'm going to get a tiny little apartment with no air conditioning, with no, you know, this and that, and I'll get a little bell heater and I'll save some money. You can't do that anymore. The minimum standard has been raised, so you can't, you can't actually do that, because all of these standards being built up, the minimum rent just gets built up as well. Yeah.
Anything else?
It's a good thing for investors though, because the rents are good.
Yeah, the rents are good. That's what we like.
The yields are
high
good.
yields.
Yeah, exactly right.
Love it.
Anything else? Probably just back to the price point. Yeah, for some people it is challenging. Investment properties haven't necessarily done what they thought they would, but that's the way we're living.
I do always feel a little bit bad sometimes, like when I see, I go on Uppy Data and I see when it sold last and for what price, and I'm like,
these poor sods.
Sorry,
but
guys.
as you said, Perth. I mean, I looked at the price history in WA, and my wife's family is from there. You know, you look at there was a 10-year stint where nothing happened. There's parts of regional New South Wales, Victoria, where that happened as well. Prices either went backwards or didn't do a single thing for a very long time. So it happens.
It does happen. I honestly seen it everywhere. I seen it in Perth. I'd seen it like so many times. Like, even I bought my place in Perth. We bought it in 2021 in February. They bought it in February 2018. They bought it for $340. We bought it for $350. And they're like, shivers. And then after that, bang, 6 years. Like, it's just gone up double digits every year on year since we've held it. It's like, shivers. You know, they held it for 3 years. They made nothing.
Oh,
well, there's talking about, I mean, square metre rates now, obviously, but let's say for a brand new build, 16,000 square metre. Yeah. 10 years ago, it was still 12, 13,000 a square metre. And what was happening was people would, settle on these properties and I'd appraise them and they'd be going, hang on, has the market dropped that much? And, that's the real world market,
People don't realise that, eh? No. People just think that's what they pay, that's what it is. Yeah. But then you realise there's a whole living, breathing market out here that is changing every day, every week. Yeah. And that's scary. Yeah. It's hard to navigate that. Yeah, it is. For sure. Can I ask you a final question to wrap us up? Sure. Not to embarrass you, but there's been some recent awards that you've been winning as a real estate agent, just killing it. Yeah. But like you've got a wife that loves you, kids that want to spend time with you, you're kicking goals at work. Like, how do you balance the high performance pushing? But you here at Cronulla, you got your running shoes on so you can go for a run. Like, how do you balance it, man? That's a lot.
It is a lot. And my wife she's a star. She's actually a business owner, which makes it extra hard because, she works much harder than me. She works much harder than me. I get to watch TV at the end of the day. She's working away till like 11 p.m. every night. What's she do? She owns a wallpaper business. Wow. So wallpaper, commercial, residential, kind of business. So she's busy. It's good. It's good.
Where do you meet her?
Technically, we met at dancing classes in year 10.
As in
through school.
Wow.
We didn't hit it off then or anything like that, but we did know each other.
Were you back then?
I was no, but and then I ended up being housemates with one of her best friends. And so she lived in Nice in France for 3 years, and then when she moved back, her and Claire were obviously best mates, and Claire was my housemate, and then we kind of kicked off a bit of romance up at Mount Holland.
That's been spicy, huh? Wow. The roommate's best friend.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, who's your friend?
Is this the said friend you were talking about before that's got 3 kids, 3 girls?
That's recruited you?
No.
Different friend.
Different friend.
Oh, man, that sounds spicy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's spicy as. And so Brodie's running a business. How long has she been doing that for?
Technically, she's been kind of general manager and part owner for like 12 years, at least a decade. But she actually, as of about 2 months ago, she's now sole owner and director, which is cool.
How do you both juggle that, having 2 young kids as well?
That is hard, actually. Yeah. That is hard. But you know what? Being in real estate, you're kind of your own boss. Yeah. I can call you and say, hey, don't mind the kids screaming in the back, and you're okay with that, which is good. I can't do that with everyone, but you okay. But you say I'll pick up the kids at 3 or 3:30. I'll meet you at 4:30. I'll go back to the office. I do try to do a gym session sometimes at lunch if I can fit it in. And then, Oz kick on Saturdays for the little guy to do football, and you just maybe set your opens a little bit later on the day so you can then shoot off and do that. But it's just a balance,
Yeah.
Just constant management.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what it's like. You're a dad.
It is. It's constant management.
Constant management. It's a bit tiring, but it's fun. It's good.
What's your way of like switching off? Like, how do you, because, being in the real estate world, for all of us, it feels like we're on all the time. We are always available. So do you have somewhere you go or something you do that really helps you? Yeah. Just
love my camping.
Oh, camping.
And the kids love it too, which is good. And the best is when you can go somewhere where there's no reception.
Yeah, phone off.
Yeah, phone just away. That's the best. That's the best. So I loved my camping, mountain biking, that kind of thing. Take the kids out, and haven't had to do much golf recently because that's kind of maybe too much time on a Saturday or a Sunday. But camping's a good one, and it just gets you out in nature and fresh air, no phone.
It resets you. Like
definitely
really being out in nature.
Definitely
you
does.
Need it.
Yes, and a good adventure. Yeah.
On you, man.
Cheers.
Man, you're just kicking goals.
Yeah, honestly, what a man. What a guy.
You and Bro, I didn't realise all this time about Brodie.
He's an
entrepreneur.
She's a jet. Yeah. She's a jet.
Man, what else do you want to tell us? Any other secrets? Any other?
No other secrets.
No secrets.
No other secrets, I don't think. No. You know everything about me now.
We love you in the office every time we chat. I'm like, oh, it's Burnsy. Everyone's like, Burnsy.
Everyone calls me. Well, actually, my own office doesn't call me Burnsy. It's just James in the office.
Just
But
James.
most other people call me Burnsy. Yeah. Our wedding invitations were bro, because I call Brody bro and Burnsy. That was it, you know. So it's there.
I feel like in Stonington Council, it's a bit uppity. You know?
Yeah.
Can be.
They're a bit posh.
You got to
So
bring it down a
it's
level
James.
sometime.
In the streets. Oh, good old James.
I mean, I'll respond to anything. JB, Burnsy,
sure.
James, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Whatever you
Jimmy.
want. Whatever you want. I'm easy.
Yeah,
I'm
Burnsy.
crazy.
Jimbo.
Burnsy's
Jimbo.
good. Jimbo Deanie.
Jimbo.
Yeah, whatever.
That's actually funny you say that because I feel like always on the phone with you, just because we work together so much. I'm very comfortable and casual with you that I say bro. No, it's like goes between bro and
Yeah.
Burnsy. So that's
There you
just
go.
so funny.
There you go. Perfect.
Well, man, thank you so much for coming
No,
up.
thank you for
made
having me.
The trek all the way from Melbourne to sunny Cronulla.
Exactly. Sunny
And
Cronulla is the
sunny
key.
Cronulla.
That's the key.
But, man, we really appreciate you working with us, and we really appreciate you just sharing your insight on the Melbourne unit market, and, man, looking forward to many, many more.
Perfect. Me too.
Thanks
Fantastic.
so much.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Thanks so much for listening to the Moves to Momentum podcast. If you got any value out of this episode, please give us a like or subscribe. Or if you think this is relevant to any one of your friends or family, please flick it to them so they can have a listen.